citations.
I got him.
Jim Hankey, 76, for Distinguished Achievement Citation. He just walked up.
The dad.
Supposedly.
Good afternoon. Well, that was all right. Must have been a tough Friday night. Welcome to Reunion Weekend 2016 and the Celebrating Ohio Wesleyan ceremony, the annual meeting of the Alumni Association and the Alumni Recognition Ceremony. Our goal is to honor justly our outstanding alumni and to provide you with the best atmosphere to receive the State of the University message from our President, Rock Jones. I hope you enjoy the ceremony. I'm David Livingston, class of 1994, and it's been my pleasure to serve as president of the Alumni Association Board of Directors for the last 12 years. It's great to be with everybody here today, some new faces and some old, not in age, longevity. Guess that's the same thing as old.
One way to put it.
Thank you very much. This will be a very short speech. I want to make sure that we thank all of the committee chairs from every class. Thank you very much for all your hard work and rallying everybody up together. There's just about 800 alumni back, and that doesn't happen just out of 43015. That happens with all the phone calls, emails you've done, so thank you very much. I would like to invite Phil Roach, class of 1961, to the podium to deliver an invocation. Phil?
Will you pray with me? It is with grateful hearts that we praise your name today, dear and glorious God. Amidst ceremony and joyous reunion, we first pause to thank you for guidance, opportunities, and the many blessings each here have received. We're grateful also for this great university that it's been and continues to be such an important part of the fabric of world communities by the alumnus that it has touched. As we celebrate the leaders on the dais today, we know that you are the enabler. We pray this morning that you continue to give the leaders of this university the wisdom, strength, and the duty strength, wisdom, and the peace that comes from a job well done. It's in Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Phil. As legend has it, on a crisp spring day in 1989, Katie Corns was standing at what used to be University Avenue and Sandusky Street. And much to her chagrin at me telling this story, because she's not standing here to tell it, even though she's in the second row, she stood behind, all 5'1" of her, stood behind these two enormous lacrosse players, and one looks at the other and said, "It's a great day to be a bishop." The other high-fived, and they went off to class. Katie went back immediately after class and called her dad up and said, "Daddy, you'll never guess the story I heard today." And that is true. It is a great day to be a bishop. We welcome not only our alumni, but those spouses and friends who have accompanied them back to campus, and we hope you enjoy the weekend and feel part of the Ohio Wesleyan community. Reunion Weekend is the largest gathering of alumni and friends to campus every year, and I'd like to introduce a few special guests for Alumni Weekend. First, if you are a current or a past Board of Trustee or Alumni Board member, would you please stand and be recognized? Thank you very much for your leadership and dedication. We also have a large number of alumni in the room who volunteer for the university on a myriad of different committees or in different ways. If you are, no need to stand, but if you are a reunion volunteer, Ohio Wesleyan Fund Class officer, a regional chapter leadership board member, admissions recruitment officer, career networking person, some of this involve a team of woo, and I can't talk any faster, or as a Greek advisor, I actually do want you to stand and be recognized. Thank you very much. I'd like to introduce Katie Butt from the class of 1991 to give the annual giving report.
Thank you, David. As we come together during Alumni Weekend, something magical occurs on campus. During this time of reflection, connections, and traditions, our memories take us back to the students we were, and we reflect on the people we've become. Ohio Wesleyan is the place that put us on a path for career success, community service, and lifelong learning. This is the place where we grew up, we became leaders, and we made lifelong friends. One of the ways that we say thank you to Ohio Wesleyan is by giving back to the university through gifts to the Ohio Wesleyan Fund. When we give, we demonstrate that Ohio Wesleyan is an outstanding institution worthy of our support and our involvement. The more we, as alumni, show our support, the more likely it is Ohio Wesleyan will accomplish its goals, boost its academic reputation, and attract and retain the best students and faculty. At this time, it's my privilege to announce the giving totals for each reunion class. These numbers are as of May 9th, and feel free to follow along in your programs. Although there is much to celebrate, as I read each class totals, please hold your applause until all the classes have been announced. So starting with the class of 2011, total is $2,096 with 8% participation. The class of 2006, $35,653 with 11% participation. Class of 2001 is $8,870 with 10% participation. The class of 1996, $26,705 with 9% participation. My own 25th reunion class, the class of 1991, $68,542 with 12% participation. The class of 1986, $11,300 with 10% participation. Class of 1981, $36,204 with 15% participation. The class of 1996, $53,560 with 22% participation. The class of 1971, $89,339 with 23% participation, and we'll hold off sharing the results of the 50th Reunion Committee momentarily, just to allow members of the class to present their own results for this milestone year. The class of 1961, $175,867 with 34% participation. The class of 1956, $94,027 with 43% participation. The class of 1946, $13,585 with 40% participation. The class of 1941, $18,541 with 42% participation. Thank you. I missed the class of 1951. Thank you. I got distracted with the enthusiasm on this side. The class of 1951, $39,720 and with 34% participation. So to members of these classes and to all who've joined us in giving this year, on behalf of the students, the faculty, and the programs who will benefit from your generosity, thank you for your contributions. Now I'd like to invite the members of each reunion committee to please stand and be recognized for encouraging your classmates to engage and participate. Please stand. Okay, and now it's time to celebrate this year's 50th reunion class, the class of 1966. The 50th reunion marks a tremendous milestone in the lives of Ohio Wesleyan alumni and is physically the largest class gathering since graduation. In addition to celebrating alumni accomplishments and friendships, Ohio Wesleyan honors the giving tradition of the 50th reunion classes and the meaningful legacy it has established. The university would like to thank the 50th reunion committee chairs, Mike Long, Bob Gillespie, and Ron Stephanie, and the entire class committee for their leadership and dedication. Please welcome Mike Long to the stage to present their class gift.
Well, this has been quite a journey for the class of '66. I'm very proud to be standing here because we've achieved some great results on the fundraising. Our committee worked diligently for really starting with our last reunions when we started forming this committee, but they've been very diligent on fundraising efforts. We've had a lot of help from everybody here, and we are delighted that the turnout for our 50th is what it is. It's remarkable. The classes of '64 and '65 set a fairly high bar with their 50-year reunion giving. We took that as a challenge. We were fortunate when we started to get a very generous matching challenge gift from one of our classmates, and that was to the committee, which the committee then met and exceeded. And we in turn issued our committee challenge to the class, which again was met and exceeded. So we're very proud of what this class has accomplished for Ohio Wesleyan University. And in a moment, I'm going to present that check to President Rock Jones. But it is a gift that includes multiple endowed scholarship funds. The sum total represents cash, pledges, and several planned estate commitments. I've got a little bit updated numbers from what's in your program. We have a 49% participation rate from our class. The amount includes presently $436,000 to this year's Ohio Wesleyan Fund, which is a critical need for this university. And so, to sum it up, I'm going to present the check. Okay. If you can't see it, I got to say this total. It's $5,066,316. Thank you to the class of 1966.
Yeah. Please.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks. Wow. Thank you again, Mike. Thank you again to the, my goodness. That's very, very exciting. Very well done. Whew. The Ohio Wesleyan Fund is the cornerstone of giving at the university. Our gifts are vital to ensuring that Ohio Wesleyan will continue to transform students' lives. As you heard, our fundraising results are quite substantial, including all contributions, and keep in mind this was as of a few days ago. We had raised $3.1 million toward our goal of $3.75 million. And if you've not made a gift in honor of your own reunion, please consider doing so and join us in doing so before June 30th. On behalf of the university, thank you to all of the volunteers and donors who made these gifts possible. Go Bishops! Thank you.
Thank you, Katie. Let's move on to celebrating our amazing alumni. Alumni Weekend is a bittersweet as I will conclude my Alumni Board service immediately following this meeting, actually, as I sprint up the road. That ends my role in presenting all of the awards to some of our most accomplished and dedicated alumni. That said, this ceremony is also special that I have some of my personal friends and mentors behind me and some already over here who have already received the awards, which we'll be giving out this afternoon. Those chosen for recognition this afternoon were nominated by the Alumni Recognition Committee of the Alumni Board of Directors and then voted on by the entire board. It is a thorough and thoughtful process, and I'm sure you'll feel the same sense of pride that each of us on the Alumni Board feels as we learn more about our outstanding alumni here today. I will not be reading the comprehensive citations written about each awardee. I encourage you to do so in the program that you have with you. Honorary alumni status was created to honor individuals who perpetuate the ideals of Ohio Wesleyan. We have one past recipient with us. I would like to take a moment to recognize Dick Smith. Is Dick here? He's coming? Well, when he walks in, we'll do the wave or something. We appreciate his continued support for Ohio Wesleyan, and okay, just a second, here he is, and he's too important to not be patient for. Dick, we're clapping for you on your honorary alumni status, and we are so thankful to have you in our midst today. Thank you. Probably wants to leave. In presenting honorary alumni status, we honor beloved professor who passed away only a few weeks ago. Dr. Jed Burt, Emeritus Professor of Zoology, was an exceptional man. Jed earned his Bachelor of Arts in Biology from Bowdoin College in Maine, before earning both his MA and his PhD in zoology from the University of Wisconsin in Madison. He taught at Ohio Wesleyan for 37 years. Jab? Took one class with him, it was fascinating. Let's not talk about my grade in it, but helping to become better students and better researchers, he worked with wonderful guidance through each and every student he taught. During his time at Ohio Wesleyan, he earned 16 research grants totaling more than $3 million. Helping to provide research stipends to nearly 90 students. He wrote many books and gave more than 100 different presentations around the globe. He served as president of the American Ornithologists Union, was awarded honorary life memberships in both the Association of Field Ornithologists and the Wilson Ornithological Society. Jed was a fellow of the Animal Behavior Society, American Ornithologists Union, and the Ohio Academy of Sciences and International Ornithologists Unions. In 2011, he was named the Ohio Professor of the Year. Jed was deeply dedicated to teaching and mentoring students, stating, I love this quote, "Awakening a passion in a young person and helping each student fulfill a newly formulated dream is the essence of teaching. There is no higher calling and no greater purpose." It is with great honor and pride that we remember the tremendous impact that Dr. Edward H. Burt, Jr., and honor him with Ohio Wesleyan's Honorary Alumni Award. Accepting on his behalf of the Burt family is Kyle Davis. Kyle? Kyle's major is pre-professional zoology and said that, and I'm going to quote you now, and understandably you're emotional. He's a powerful man. You're all right. You're with your family. You understand that too, right? Dr. Jed was my mentor and close friend. He was like family to me. Thank you, Kyle, for joining us today. God bless. The Alumni Award was established in 1937 as an expression of gratitude to alumni who have supported the institution in a wide variety of ways. To date, over 250 alumni have been recognized with this award. As you can imagine, it's a who's who list of Ohio Wesleyan's volunteer leadership. We're privileged to have many of our past Alumni Award recipients with us on stage this afternoon, and I'd like to introduce them to you. Some of them are up here, and I think some are still down in the audience. Their names are listed in your program, but I just feel it's important enough to announce publicly. Lori McGregor Connor, Doug Dittrich, Jr., Sally Christensen Harris, the Reverend Mary S. Holm, Bob Holm, Wendy McCall Johnson, Bob Roach, Steve Sherwood, Ginny Ships, Mark Ships, Helen Kreider Smith, Gordon Smith, Ron Stephanie, Howard Strauch, Marcia Tilden, and Jack Winters. Jack's out here somewhere. There he is. Thank you very much. Please be seated. I'd like to invite Evan Corns from the class of 1959 to join me. Evan R. Corns, class of 1959, the Alumni Award. With this presentation of Ohio Wesleyan University's Alumni Award, the Ohio Wesleyan Alumni Association Board of Directors is proud to recognize Evan Corns for serving as a constant champion and strong supporter of his alma mater. As an Ohio Wesleyan student, Evan majored in history and was a leader of the SAE House.
All right.
Phi Alpha. Bro.
Phi Alpha.
As an Ohio Wesleyan alum, Evan has remained actively engaged in the university. He joined the Board of Trustees in 1992, serving first as a trustee at large, then as an alumni trustee, and now as a life trustee. He is also a member of the Alumni Advisory Board to the Baltimore Center for Economics, Business, and Entrepreneurship. In support of Ohio Wesleyan students and faculty, Evan has created multiple endowments over the years, and others have created endowments to honor him. He donated funds to the name of the R.W. Corns Building in memory of his father and has been a strong supporter of Battling Bishop Athletics and Team OWU. He and his wife, Barbara, are members of the Founders Circle, Tower Society, and President's Circle. Evan has also been a longtime Ohio Wesleyan volunteer, serving as the Annual Fund Chair, Annual Fund Fraternity Volunteer, and the Annual Fund Decade Chair. If you haven't received a phone call from Evan, just watch your phone. He served as the co-chair of Ohio Wesleyan's previous capital campaign and in numerous leadership positions in previous campaigns. In recognition of his personal and professional success, Evan was inducted into the Ohio Foundation of Independent Colleges Hall of Excellence in 2010. And as a personal story, in 2003, my father, class of 59, along with Evan, was diagnosed with cancer. I called Evan, it was very emotional. He said, "Get over to my office immediately," and I hung up, ran 3 blocks to his office, up the stairs, and he greeted me at the top of the steps with open arms, and he hugged me. I cried on his shoulder for a moment, and he pushed me back. He held me by my shoulders, and he said, "When your father is not around, I am your father. Do you understand?" I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "Wipe your tears and go back to work." And I did. 2 years later, my father was pronounced cancer-free. In like fashion, I called Evan, first phone call I made once I got that news, and I said, "Evan, my dad is cancer-free." And the phone was quiet. And he said, "My job is done." And he hung up. That's what you mean to me. Although it's a great day to be a bishop, Today is especially meaningful as we represent Evan R. Corns with the Alumni Award for his lifetime to dedicated service to Ohio Wesleyan and our campus community. I love you. Friend number 2. I would like to invite Robert Gillespie, class of 1966, to join me. Robert W. Gillespie, Ohio Wesleyan class of 1966, the Alumni Award. With this presentation of the Ohio Wesleyan University's Alumni Award, the Ohio Wesleyan Alumni Association Board of Directors is proud to recognize Robert W. Gillespie for his outstanding service and dedication to his alma mater. Bob earned his BA in economics in 1966. He was president of the Epsilon chapter of the Alpha Sigma Phi fraternity and was involved in Le Bijou, yearbook, the transcript, and many other campus publications. He has maintained close connections to Ohio Wesleyan since his graduation. Bob served as trustee at large from 1987 to 2013 when he became a life trustee. He currently serves on the Board of Trustees, University of Advancement, Finance and Operation, and Investment Committees. Bob has also been active in the Department of Economics of the Valtabati Center for Economics, Business, and Entrepreneurship, and he previously served as chair of the campaign for Ohio Wesleyan and has been a dedicated volunteer to annual giving, his class reunion, and many other facets. Professionally, Bob is chairman emeritus of Key Corp in Cleveland. And in 1997, he was inducted to the Hall of Excellence of the Ohio Foundation of Independent Colleges. Bob and his wife, Ann, class of 1967, are members of the Founders Circle and recipients of the Adam Poe Medal. They are also members of the Tower Society. Today, during his golden reunion, don't cry, because I'm going to cry. Today, during his golden reunion of 50 years, we applaud and thank Robert W. Gillespie for his long-standing and dedicated service to Ohio Wesleyan and our campus community. Friend number 3. I'd like to invite Mike Long to the podium. Michael G. Long, class of 1966, the Alumni Award. With this presentation of Ohio Wesleyan's Alumni Award, Ohio Wesleyan Alumni Association Board of Directors is proud to recognize Michael G. Long for his tireless service and unending dedication to his alma mater. Mike earned his BA in 1966, majoring in economics. He was president of the Gamma chapter of Sigma Chi and a member of the Interfraternity Council. He was also a member of the varsity soccer team. Since his graduation, Mike has been engaged with Ohio Wesleyan, serving on the Board of Trustees from 1996 to 2014, including as a vice chair from 2007 to 2010, and then as chair of the board from 2010 to 2014, when he became a life trustee. Mike is a retired partner and respected accomplished litigator from Voorhees, Sater, Seymour, and Peace in Columbus, and he has also served as our university's counsel. In addition, Mike served on the alumni board from 1988 to 1994. He served as chair of the Presidential Search Committee before the installation of Rock Jones, Ohio Wesleyan's 16th president, back in 2008. Mike has been a dedicated volunteer, serving as a class giving chair, annual giving fraternity volunteer, reunion volunteer, and played a vital role in leading his 50th reunion committee earlier this year, which we saw earlier today. Thank you. He and his wife, Pam, class of 66 as well, are members of the Tower Society and have been members of the President's Circle since 2008. Today, during his golden reunion, we thank and applaud Michael G. Long, for his long-standing and dedicated service to Ohio Wesleyan and the campus community. Mike. The Young Alumni Award was established in 2011. However, it is just the second year that we have made a presentation of this award. This award was created to recognize alumni from the past 15 years who have shown exceptional success and leadership in their chosen profession or for their outstanding commitment to Ohio Wesleyan. Fourth friend, I invite Maggie Farron Sexton, class of 2006, to join me. Maggie Farron Sexton, Class 2006, Young Alumni Award.
Still Dad and Mom.
I love that. So that really is your family?
It is.
Okay. Well, these are all your other family members. With this I love that. I've got 2 daughters. That is so cool that you just did that. With this presentation of Ohio Wesleyan University's Young Alumni Award, the Ohio Wesleyan Alumni Association Board of Directors is proud to recognize Megan Farron Sexton for all she has accomplished since graduation and her unwavering commitment to improving people's lives through both her words and her deeds. While studying at Ohio Wesleyan, Maggie majored in journalism and psychology and graduated summa cum laude. She was a member of the Gamma Deuteron chapter of Kappa Alpha Theta, as well as a member of the varsity cross country and track and field teams. She earned her master's in communications management at John Carroll University and her doctorate in educational administration at Kent State University. She has stayed connected to Ohio Wesleyan University, serving as her sorority's public relations advisor and as a freshman fellowship advisor. Maggie lives in Columbus, where she also works with the Independent Colleges Advancement Association Board as publicity committee member for Autism Speaks and for the National Eating Disorder Association. In her first book, To the Moon and Back, A Daughter-Mother Journey Toward Eating Disorder Recovery, she seeks to help others by detailing her struggle with eating disorders. For all that she has accomplished, we are honored to recognize Megan Farron Sexton with Ohio Wesleyan's Young Alumni Award. Our other Young Alumni Award winner, Driss Sakat, from the class of 2006, was unable to be with us today as he is in Dubai shooting a film for a UK series over the next few weeks. But you can read about him in your program, of course, and if you need to get in touch with him or would like to honor him, Mallory can help you with that. With the approval and encouragement of Ohio Wesleyan administration, the Board of Directors of the Alumni Association established the Distinguished Achievement Citation, in 1979. Through the Distinguished Achievement Citation, we seek to recognize the life, work, and character of Ohio Wesleyan's most outstanding alumni. The criteria for this award are that the person must be an alumna or an alumnus, and the person's life must be characterized by remarkable professional achievement or profound service to humanity, or both. Because the citation highlights professional and or humanitarian accomplishments, it differs from the Alumni Award, which recognizes devoted service to the university. To date, only 117 alumni have received the DAC, and we're honored to have a few of the recipients here today. George Conrades from the class of 66, Herbert DuPont from the class of 61, Dr. Bruce Alton from the class of 61, and Jim Henke. I know Jim's here. George. Unfortunately, recipient James Oberg, class of 1966, wasn't able to join us today. We will present his award to him at another time, but you can also read his citation in your program. Our first recipient of the Distinguished Achievement Citation is Carol Jane Galante, class of 1976. Carol? Carol Jane Galante, class of 1976, Distinguished Achievement Citation. With this presentation of Ohio Wesleyan University's Distinguished Achievement Citation, the Ohio Wesleyan Alumni Association Board of Directors is honored to recognize you, Carol, for your innovative and effective work to improve urban housing. Carol graduated from Ohio Wesleyan, as I said, in 1976 after working with 2 other students to create the Urban Studies interdisciplinary major. After Ohio Wesleyan, she continued her studies at the University of California, Berkeley, earning a Master of City and Regional Planning degree. Carol has worked in home and community building in both private and public sectors. As president and CEO of Bridge Housing Corporation, the largest nonprofit developer of affordable mixed-income and mixed-use developments in California. She oversaw the development of more than 10,000 homes in 40 cities. In 2011, President Obama appointed Carol as Assistant Secretary for Housing, Federal Housing Commissioner at the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. Prior to her confirmation, she served as the Acting Assistant Secretary for Housing, FHA Commissioner, having first joined HUD in May of 2009 as the Deputy Assistant Secretary for Multifamily Housing Programs. In 2014, she became a professor of the University of Cal Berkeley and the director of the Berkeley Program on Housing and Urban Policy. She was named Builder Magazine's top most influential person in home building in 2006, Multifamily and Developer Magazine's Executive of the Year in 2008, and Housing Wire Magazine's Most Influential Women in Housing 2012. She has also been inducted into the California Home Builder Hall of Fame. It is with great appreciation and admiration that we should award Carol Galante the Distinguished Achievement Citation for her work in urban development as well as her dedication to helping her community. Carol.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this. I want to actually start by acknowledging somebody who is not part of the Ohio Wesleyan community, my husband, Jim Roberts, who has been with me on this journey in life, and I just want to thank him for being here with me. As a way of really sharing why Ohio Wesleyan has been so important to me and what it means to me, I wanted to just read to you a few excerpts of a letter that I wrote a few years ago to incoming admittees, so students who had been admitted to Ohio Wesleyan and were trying to make a decision about whether they should attend Ohio Wesleyan University, because I think it really does sum up what Ohio Wesleyan means to me. The personal attention and encouragement that I receive from professors in the Politics and Government Department and those in economics and geography who helped me, along with other students, create an interdisciplinary second major in urban studies changed my life. It was Ohio Wesleyan that helped me find my passion for the work I have done throughout my career. The professors at Ohio Wesleyan really took the time to invest in my success. These teachers know you, they prepare you, and they invest in you. The teachers, several key experiences stand out for me, and one of them is the last time I was behind this podium was 40 years ago at the mock presidential convention, where I spoke at the platform committee or something like that, along with a number of my other students here. But that experience really helped me understand how government and policy can make important changes for people. I also had a professional report writing class taught by Dr. Libby Reed that taught me to effectively communicate complex subject matters. And you might think that is boring. Now remember, I'm writing this to a student. But to this day, I draw on those techniques that I learned in that class. And last, and I do say last and not lastly, because that's what Dr. Reed would insist on, and last, working on an urban geography assignment with my mentor, Dr. Richard Fuchs, who is here in the audience, I found my passion for how neighborhoods and cities developed, and I decided I wanted to pursue this as a career. On a personal level, I made lifelong friends and colleagues at Ohio Wesleyan. I still work professionally with several former classmates, and I remain close to former roommates and friends across the country. I will always be grateful for the strong foundation and inspiration I received from my Ohio Wesleyan education. I am particularly appreciative of the financial aid package and work-study package that I received, enabling a working-class kid like me, whose father did not graduate from high school, be able to join and access this community. Thank you, and thank you for all you do.
I'd like to invite Randall Griffin, class of 1966, to join me. Randall M. Griffin, class of 1966, the Distinguished Achievement Citation. With this presentation of Ohio Wesleyan University's Distinguished Achievement Citation, the Ohio Wesleyan Alumni Association Board of Directors is honored to recognize Rand Griffin for his outstanding commitment to the university and for his successful professional career. Rand graduated from Ohio Wesleyan University, as I said, in 1966, majoring in economics and in English. At Ohio Wesleyan, he was a member of the varsity swimming team and WCSA. He is a member of the Ohio Delta chapter of SAE, Phi Alpha.
Thank you.
You and Evan can do your thing. And he served on the Interfraternity Council. After graduating from Ohio Wesleyan, Rand continued his studies at Harvard Business School, where he earned his Master's in Business Administration degree there. Before his retirement, Rand served as president and CEO for the Corporate Office Properties Trust, becoming a trustee after he retired. He also has had many high-level executive management positions for companies ranging from the Midwest-based Linclay Corporation to Euro Disney Development in Paris. In 2011, Rand earned the Business Leader of the Year award from Loyola's Selinger School of Business and Management. During his career, he directed the development of more than $3.8 billion worth of real estate and their assets. Rand has an incredible philanthropic career on top of his business accolades. He has served on the board of directors for the National Aquarium, the Center for Aquatic Life and Conservation, and the Maryland Business Roundtable for Education. His long-term and generous involvement with Ohio Wesleyan has included being a member of the President's Circle and the Tower Society. It is with great admiration and appreciation that we award Rand Griffin the Distinguished Achievement Citation for his dedication to his career and to philanthropy. Rand.
Thank you, and it's an honor to be standing up here with these recipients. It's amazing what they've done. Some have stayed local. You think of Bob and Mike, and they stayed in Ohio the whole time, one in Columbus and one in Cleveland, and we heard from them yesterday on their amazing career and what Carol's accomplished. What Carol and I have in common really are two things: real estate, correct, and Libby Reed. How many of you had the report writing class with Libby? She was remarkable. And yesterday when we had the chance, those of you that were in the panel, to kind of talk about the influences, her name repeatedly came up. And the theme that carried across yesterday was really about communication, that in today's emphasis on STEM and technology and so on, what differentiates those that have been liberal arts schools, which have come under increasing pressure for why are you in existence and why do you have sort of mundane degrees that aren't so technical. Communication stands as that overriding theme. And to that, I know, Rock, when you're out on your many visits, I'm sure that's a theme that will resonate with you and continues, hopefully, to resonate for future generations. I've had the luck to have a passion to be able to build things, starting really, it's always funny when you look at your life scribed here and they get things a little out of order. So the fact that you went to Vietnam and lived through that and then went to work and then graduate school is always interesting in the scheme of things there. But I've had the luck to always love, after graduating from Harvard Business School, always love every job I had. And I don't know if that's luck or attitude or what, but and they were always increasingly challenging, which I loved. They also were always about building things, and so I've had the fortune of building over $5 billion of properties. I think the only things I have not yet built, and I say yet, is a church and a prison. But literally, you can name every other type of real estate, golf courses, hotels, 9/11 Memorial in Baltimore, or so on. And I have been at the leading edge of doing that. And Libby Reed really influenced the other passion in my life, which has been the giving back. And she always, I think, emphasized, okay, you're learning to write, you're learning to do this letter correctly and so on, but there's so much more to life than that. And so you can give back financially. I've had the fortune and the opportunity to make a difference in so many lives, whether that's building green buildings, which we did a lot of, the most in the nation, or whether you were on a number of boards. As you saw, I was on, I think, 13 boards, most of them not-for-profit, and so you have a chance to influence the direction of those institutions. Or it's financially giving back, or it's influencing future generations by doing public art in all of the buildings that I've built since 1980, which are hundreds of office buildings, or influencing with kids and trying to set their direction correctly, as I've done in so many instances in terms of going around colleges, giving speeches, and so on. So to me, the opportunity to give back has been the highlight of the career. I love to build things. I'm sad to say this is the first reunion, like many of you actually, as we've talked, the first reunion that I've been to at Ohio Wesleyan, and that's probably fitting. And when you walk around the campus, those of us that have not been back for 50 years, it's remarkable what's been built. And so having built things, I love to see that. And I hope I have the opportunity to continue to help Ohio Wesleyan and continue. There's so much still to do, and I'm not done yet, and there's an awful lot of fun things and hard work in front of us. So I hope you all have a great career as well, and have the opportunity to continue to give wherever you can, whether it's to the school or make an impact. I try to make a difference. Thank you.
I'd like to invite Greg Moore, class of 1976. Gregory L. Moore, class of 1976, the Distinguished Achievement Citation. With this presentation of Ohio Wesleyan University's Distinguished Achievement Citation, the Ohio Wesleyan Alumni Board of Directors is honored to recognize Gregory L. Moore for his dedication to journalism and the future generations of budding reporters and liberal arts students. Greg graduated from OU in 1976 with a double major in journalism and political science. During his 14-year tenure as editor of the Denver Post, he led the newspaper to 4 consecutive Pulitzer Prizes. Before joining the Post, Greg honed his journalism skills at the Boston Globe, the Cleveland Plain Dealer, and the Dayton Journal-Herald. In 2015, Greg became the 10th Ohio Wesleyan graduate to be inducted into the Ohio Foundation of Independent Colleges Hall of Excellence. In 2012, he earned the National Benjamin C. Bradley Editor of the Year Award, as well as the Alumni of the Year Award from Ohio Wesleyan's Office of Multicultural Student Affairs. Greg was one of the founding members of the Cleveland chapter of the National Association of Black Journalists, and he has served his profession as board member of American Society of Newspaper Editors. He also has been elected as co-chair of the Pulitzer Prize Board. Greg has remained active in Ohio Wesleyan, generously giving his time to mentor students, serve on the Board of Trustees, and volunteer with both departments of the admissions and the University Advancement. Most recently, Greg served as commencement speaker for the class of 2016's graduation. Through his generous financial contributions, Greg has supported Ohio Wesleyan's Butler A. Jones House of Black Culture, the Willa B. Player Black Resource Center at Stuyvesant Hall, and a mission trip to Ghana. It is with great appreciation and admiration that we award Gregory L. Moore the Distinguished Achievement Citation for his work in journalism, mentor, and philanthropist.
Money. Well, thank you. I came to Ohio Wesleyan 44 years ago, and I'm proud to say I never left. I am just so grateful for having had the opportunity to go to the school, to graduate. I learned about the world here. I learned how to study here. I learned what the meaning of effort really was all about. I made lifelong friends, and I'm just so proud of my continued association with this university. In particular, I'm grateful for having found a career here and having had great professors, including Vern Edwards, who taught me everything I know about journalism. I'm really grateful to and humbled to receive this citation. You know, I've received a lot of honors and a lot of attention and a great deal of affection from this university. And I'm just so happy to receive this award, not just because I've always wanted to stand on this stage since I was a freshman, but because this honor really comes from you, the alumni. So I'm just so grateful. I really thank you, and I'll never stop giving to Ohio Wesleyan. I really appreciate this. Thank you so much.
Not hard to be impressed with those resumes, I suppose. Speaking of, it is always one of the greatest honors and joys to introduce to all of you the 16th president of Ohio Wesleyan University, President Rock Jones.
Thank you, David. It's a pleasure to welcome you to campus and to see all of you here. I would like to join you in acknowledging again those who have been recognized today for their service and accomplishment. Nothing speaks more powerfully to the state of the university than the accomplishments of its alumni and the aspirations of its current students who seek to emulate those accomplishments in their own lives. Someone asked me on the way in, must I be in my assigned seat? Will attendance be taken? The deans are in the balcony with cards in hand. I learned a new term yesterday, butsies cutsies. Anybody know that term? Dean Ingram has asked me to announce a zero tolerance policy for butsies cutsies. Well, I'm happy to speak briefly about Ohio Wesleyan, and I want to begin by going back to the very beginning, to our founding 174 years ago, when our founders wrote in our charter 3 things that governed the institution then, that represented their aspirations for the institution that they hoped would develop, and that continue to guide our way today. First, they said Ohio Wesleyan would be forever devoted to the most liberal principles. That is not a statement of political ideology. That is a commitment, as you have heard from our speakers today, to the values of a liberal arts education. The values reflected in the Yale Report of 1828, which talked about an education that disciplines and furnishes the human mind. An education that hones intellectual capacity and curiosity. An education that develops the communication capacities that Rand mentioned, the ability to speak and to write persuasively, to explore complex problems from multiple perspectives, to understand people whose life experiences are quite different from one's own. These are the values of a liberal education for which we were founded and for which we exist today. Second, our founders were Methodists, but they said we would be open to students regardless of denominational affiliation. From the beginning, this institution has recognized the value of diversity. Today, 10% of our students come from outside of the United States. A quarter of our students are multicultural. A quarter of our students are the first in their families to go to college. More than 30% of our students come from low-income families that qualify for Pell Grants. We recognize and value a campus that embraces students from every walk of life and exposes students to a variety of life experiences. And the third thing our founders said was that an Ohio Wesleyan education would be designed for the benefit of citizens in general. There is a public service component to what we do here every day. We want our graduates, as these who have been recognized today have done, we want our graduates to make a difference in the world. There are people here today who were on campus when Ben Arneson was still here. When he asked his students to sign a pledge card with a view towards serving the public interest, and without regard for my future vocation, I pledge to devote a portion of my life after college to serving the public interest. We want to be a place that prepares moral leaders for a global society that prepares graduates to make a difference in the world. We do that with a commitment to liberal education in a climate of diversity that seeks to prepare graduates who make a difference. But we know that the model of the 21st century is not the model of the 19th century. So our faculty have developed the OWU Connection that gives students the opportunity to take their learning beyond the walls of the classroom and the boundaries of the campus to anywhere in the world. In the OWU Connection, we challenge our students to develop a global perspective, a global and diverse perspective. We do that through travel learning around the world, and we do it through exposures to a variety of ideas and experiences here on campus. We challenge our students to learn to integrate knowledge across the disciplines because we know the challenges they inherit will not be solved in silos of narrow understanding, but will be solved in teams of people who can look at those problems from multiple perspectives. And we challenge our students to practice the application of knowledge, to apply what they have learned by connecting theory to practice in internships and undergraduate research and service learning and the host of experiences that are available through the OWU Connection. So how do they do when they graduate? We surveyed last year's graduates in November. 97% were in graduate or professional school or in a full-time job. And of those who were working, 85% were in the field of their choice. This fall, we'll have graduates enrolling for the first year at law school at Harvard and in PhD programs at Duke and the University of Chicago, just to name a few. We'll have students beginning work in education, in finance, in commerce, across the country and literally around the world. Our students are well prepared because they are educated by a faculty like the faculty who taught you, who are here because of their commitment to undergraduate education and who want to help us fulfill the aspiration of preparing the next generation of moral leaders for a global society. As you've walked the campus, you've seen that much has changed since your time here. Just this year, we have reopened Merrick Hall, which was closed for more than 30 years. And if you haven't been in, go take a look. It's a phenomenal restoration. It serves as the home of the OWU Connection. Walk up to the screen. Don't be afraid to do this. Touch it. Touch the button up at the top, second from the top. It'll give you a map of the world with lots of little links. Pick one that's of interest and push that link, and you will see what our students have done in that location in the last 2 years. And you'll see how the OWU Connection comes to life and how our students are connecting theory to practice and the classroom to the real world. We were thrilled to reopen Edwards Gymnasium, first opened in 1904, and to see the conversion of the old Pfeiffer Natatorium into the Simpson Quarry Fitness Center. We have a commitment to ensuring that our students not only develop the intellectual capacities that will allow them to prosper in their work, but that they develop the physical habits and disciplines that will allow them healthy and long lives to fulfill their greatest potential and their highest aspirations. And the Simpson Quarry Fitness Center helps us to do that. Take a walk up the Jaywalk past the Hamilton Williams Campus Center and toward the residential campus, and you'll see the new building that will house 2 of our small living units. Each unit has 12 students. The building will house 24 students. We'll break ground next month on a second of those buildings, 2 of 4 that will be constructed, ultimately housing 96 students in 8 small living units in 4 buildings. This is the first new residential construction on this campus in more than 50 years. That's a big deal. All of this is made possible by the Connect Today, Create Tomorrow campaign, to which many of you have already responded. This campaign seeks to connect the values with which we were founded and which guided the experience you had here as students with a future that I believe is bright and full of hope. In addition to the physical facilities in the campaign, the largest element of the campaign is for endowment. The single largest component is $50 million to support scholarships and financial aid, because we want to maintain that historic commitment that our founders held, that an Ohio Wesleyan education should be affordable and accessible to any qualified student, regardless of family financial circumstance. You know and I know that there is great and appropriate concern about the cost of college. But you know and I also know that the kind of education you received, where Libby Reed had time to take that red pen and to mark those papers not once, not twice, not 3 times, however many times it took for you to get it right. That kind of education is not inexpensive. It's an education that values the faculty and that values the interaction between students and professors. So in this campaign, we seek to raise endowment, to provide support for students who need financial assistance, and to increase the size and quality of the teaching faculty who have dedicated themselves to the enterprise of undergraduate, residential, liberal arts education. I don't have time to tell you everything that's happening at Ohio Wesleyan today, but I'll mention just a couple of the ways in which our students are involved outside of class. First, varsity athletics. More than a third of our students participate In varsity athletics, we have one of the top Division III athletic programs in the country. Our men's basketball team this year advanced to the Sweet 16. We had the Regional Player of the Year. Our men's lacrosse team was ranked number 17 in the national polls this year. Our men's soccer team went to the national tournament for the 35th time in 38 years. That is remarkable. And both the men's and women's cross-country track and field teams won both the conference indoor and the conference outdoor meets. Our head coach for track and field, Chris Bowie, now has coached more conference championship teams than any coach in the history of college track and field. He's done it here, and the women's track and field team this year not only won the championship, they had the highest grade point average among all the women's teams. That is a great day to be a bishop. And I will mention Greek life. Many of you participated in Greek life and understand the value of Greek life. Greek life has changed over the decades, and when I arrived 8 years ago, less than a quarter of our students were affiliated with a fraternity or a sorority. This spring, 38% of our students are affiliated with a fraternity or a sorority. We'll never be back at 95%, but we understand the value of Greek life to the experience our students have here. Our students who participate in Greek life graduate at much higher rates. Their grade point averages are higher. They develop leadership capacities, and they work on behalf of the community. And I want to affirm for you our understanding of the value of Greek life to the Ohio Wesleyan campus. I said I was going to talk about two more things. I'll mention just one more, so that makes 2 + 1 = 3. And that is, as I've talked about the Arneson Pledge, a few weeks ago, back in early February, we had this year's mock convention. Carol recalled being here 4 years earlier. More than 500 students gathered here in Gray Chapel on a Friday afternoon, Friday night well into the late hours of the night. Back here at 8 o'clock Saturday morning. In the afternoon, they set rules for the convention. We had the challenge of a delegate, Craig Ramsey, retired professor of politics and government, who returned to campus from his home in Michigan to participate in mock convention. He was challenged. He was born in Canada. We had to deal with that issue. The convention voted to seat him and to give him full voice and vote. Then we went through the development of a platform, and our students engaged in thoughtful and rigorous debate about the pressing issues of our time, but without calling anyone a name and without saying anything ugly. Yes, the debate was spirited. Yes, the voices at times were raised. But I think this may be the most important demonstration of the value of a liberal education today. And that is the ability to wrestle in the deepest and most profound and yet most humane and thoughtful ways with the issues that challenge us and that will challenge and threaten the world that these students inherit. Then on Saturday morning, they nominated a slate. They nominated our Governor, John Kasich, and as a running mate, the Governor of South Carolina, Nikki Haley. It doesn't look like it will turn out that way, but I would commend the delegates of the Ohio Wesleyan Convention for the manner in which they conducted their business and the way in which mock convention first held on this campus in 1884. The way in which mock convention reflects the values of Ohio Wesleyan and our commitment to educate moral leaders for a global society. We can fulfill that commitment now and in the future because of the support that you give us. You give us through your philanthropy and the wonderful commitments that were announced today. Through your support of our admission effort, this year our freshman class today is 53 students larger than the number of deposits we had 1 year ago today. That's the result of great work from our admission staff, but it also reflects the work of the alumni across the country. And you can help us with placing students in internships. You can help us with placing students in international experiences and in research opportunities that help them experience the OWU connection in the most vibrant ways. David started with, I will close with the words that I hear from Evan Corns on every occasion when we talk. It is a great day to be a bishop, and it's a great day to have you on campus. Thank you.
Thanks, Rock. Just a couple of things, we'll wrap it up. I'd like to encourage you, Rock just mentioned the Owu Connection, which is next door in Merrick. And if you haven't been to Merrick, you're in for a treat. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous building. That's at 2:30, so you've got a couple of minutes to get over there, more than a couple minutes, maybe a half an hour. There's much to do. Please look at your schedule. One housekeeping item, the 25th reunion. Just because of the weather, your dinner has been moved indoors to Merrick, first floor. What's that? And reception is there. If you want to make the announcement, you can be the president of the Alumni Association. I love you very much, Katie Webster, and I just said that out loud. I hope you have a wonderful evening tonight. Just before we close, I would like to invite Lori McGregor-Connor to the stage to lead us in our alma mater. In advance.
The words are in the back of your program.